All right, welcome everyone. This is a special episode. It's 130.
Actually,
it is. They're all special.
They're all special. Come on.
Every single day. Not to get too deep, but
first time we're doing a Monday. First Monday in a while.
Oh, true. Yeah, everything goes TAK on a Monday. I like that. It's got a little flavor to it too.
I kind of don't like TAK. Maybe it should be cat. KAT.
No, it's.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Ace, you're in the middle. No matter which way you do it, Ace, you're in the middle.
We might have.
Hey, I'll represent Carl Anthony for the Timberwolves. But no, happy. Yeah, you're right. I am in the middle, which is kind of perfect for life. What is it? It's January 24th now?
It is the
January 24th, 2022.
Football season
just got over the divisional round.
Just got over the COVID flu thing, whatever the hell it is.
What a weekend. What a weekend of games. That started off like great game. Oh, that was an even better game. Oh my goodness, it just kept getting better and better.
And three walk-offs?
Great.
Yeah, the first three were dictated by field goals. Decided by field goals is the word I was looking for. Yeah.
A movie couldn't have been scripted better. It's crazy.
I think the only thing that surprised me was not the outcome of the games, just like the performance of the games. Like I expected more offense. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is like 26-4 or something like that. That's his record in games when it's below freezing.
Yeah, there was no offense at all.
I don't even think he put up a touchdown. It
was a rushing touchdown by A.J. Dillon. That's the only score.
Yeah,
and then the field goal.
I watched I fell asleep in like a couple of minutes into the fourth quarter, but there was no offense out of either quarterback that game. There was one big play I would say right before halftime where he threw the ball to Aaron Jones and he was wide open for some reason. But
I think
that was the turning point in the game. They settled for a field goal there instead of just cutting their throats off.
And it got blocked
versus 10.
And it got blocked.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the block kick, the special teams.
That's right.
Special teams carried the 49ers that game.
The stat that surprised me the most is Aaron Rodgers is 0-4 against the 49ers in the playoffs. The team that didn't draft him.
That he went to
He's going south. He's going south. A friend of ours, or a friend of mine, Johnny's actually called Wolfman on Twitter, brought up the same sentiments. I think he's going south because think about it. Special team blunders, doesn't matter. Out of the crappy weather, because the special teams blunders don't happen in a perfect situation. Well, a punt block doesn't. A punt block for a touchdown, I mean, come on.
Well, I tell you right now, if they don't punt block and score, I don't think Garoppolo leads them to a victory at all.
I don't either. I don't think he played well enough.
No.
What team down south, though, would need a quarterback for Aaron Rodgers? The Texans?
No, well, let's put it like this. Who's a Super Bowl caliber team that he's willing to leave
Pittsburgh.
to go down south?
No, I'm saying, though, Pittsburgh.
No, I don't see it.
Has the money.
If he goes AFC, I think I'd say Denver. I mean, that would be my best guess. I mean, what other team would you look at?
Yeah.
Especially if they get a coach like Dan Quinn in there.
If Tom Brady leaves, maybe he goes to the Bucks. Can you imagine that? I'd be so mad.
I don't know. Then that'll be almost like it's becoming the NBA, where like these guys are just jumping ship. But the 49ers are the fourth team in NFL history to win a playoff game without an offensive TD.
Yeah, well, yeah. And, like, I feel like 90% of the time when you see, like, weather like that, like you saw it with the Patriots and Bills early in the year, like it is like a run-heavy game.
The thing that's going to hurt Green Bay next year, and now Green Bay, they all are coming out saying they want him back, but Rodgers, he's going to be like $46.3 million next year against the cap. Well, the Packers are already over the cap.
Yeah, that was the cap. The Packers are over the cap. Plus, you got to sign Devontae Adams. Plus, you got to sign Aaron Rodgers. Like, you might have to think about letting both go.
But see, I don't think he would go to Tampa Bay because Tampa Bay only has $10 million in cap space, and they got 23 free agents. And I'm talking about Godwin, Fournette, Gronkowski.
You know where he should go?
They have a lot of freaking people. They go to the Dallas Cowboys.
You know who's down south? New Orleans. New Orleans.
Go to the Dallas Cowboys. In
a dome.
Yeah, but
in a dome.
But again, you guys don't.
We're under cap, yeah. But hey, we made worse happen.
Yeah, but the thing is what team right now?
With our defense, though?
Listen. What winning team right now with little cap space can afford a $46 million quarterback?
And my thing I have this weird feeling with Aaron Rodgers for some reason. Like, I feel like you're not getting 5 years out of him. I think he's like, I could see Aaron Rodgers retiring in 2 years for some reason. He always threatens it, and I feel like he's so serious about it. Like, I feel like he's so content with doing it.
But let me ask you this. If you're Aaron Rodgers, would you want to sign a long-term deal?
No.
I would be like, look, give me a 1-year deal, $41 million, just all guaranteed.
I would do 2 years.
I wouldn't even do 2.
Yeah, similar to
I would do
Cousins.
1. I would do 1.
Yep.
I'd just keep doing 1 and make it all guaranteed. And you know what? It doesn't have to be $40 million. If it's all guaranteed, it could be $35 million. It could be $38 million. It could be $27 million.
Now, here's a real question. If Rodgers leaves, do you risk your relationship with Adams and franchise tag him? Like, because you know, like some people get mad about that.
They're gonna franchise tag him.
I would be furious if I was Adams and they franchise tagged me if he left.
But if you're a player, you could turn that down, right, and hit the open market. But I assume
I don't think you can.
I don't know. I think after I don't know.
No,
you're
right. You have to accept.
You can sit out.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, you can sit out, but I think it's almost like putting like a sign
and
on
they'd
him.
force a trade.
But why would you want to? Why would you turn it down?
Correct. You're right.
Because why would you want to play in Cold City Packers without Rodgers? With
But
Jordan
who
Love,
cares?
you want to go play with Jordan Love?
But if you're franchise tagged, you're guaranteed at least $19 million.
Yeah, but you think of a caliber player like Devontae Adams. He's been one of the best receivers in the league for the past 2 years, 3 years. He could go somewhere and sign a huge contract. You got to think about it. Receivers and running backs.
The worst.
They get like a one-time big opportunity to get a contract.
But then as a player, then you have to do something like that. You have to sign your first contract, but you have to put in your contract you can't franchise tag me. Because the organization could do whatever they want.
I think he's like getting out of his first ever he hasn't been in the league that long.
But then you need to put that in your first contract. After my contract's up, you can't franchise tag me. And that's what Dak just put in his. Mm-hmm. So Dallas can't franchise tag Dak again.
Who's thinking that when they're getting into the NFL?
But I'm just saying. I mean, franchise tagging is not a bad thing. I mean,
no, it's
guaranteed
not.
money. Like, I don't think Rodgers is going anywhere. To be honest with you, I really don't.
It's not a bad thing, but like I'm saying, if Rodgers happen to leave, I would be frustrated. I'd be like, "Don't franchise tag me. I'm not staying." I mean,
I'm convinced that if he's in a better weather state, and I hate to say like hypotheticals, they win that game.
Yeah.
So I think he sees the value in like, okay, if I can get home field advantage, maybe in not at the same. Oh God, see, I don't know though. You're right. You asked the right question though, Chris. Where does he go?
Yeah.
And
if somebody has enough money to afford them, they're not going to the playoffs. I guarantee you that.
And now, does this lower? Everyone, all the past couple weeks, everyone's been putting Brady and Aaron Rodgers' stats side by side this season, and Brady's had like better stats, right? But
Brady had his best year.
Everyone's talking about Rodgers for MVP. Does this game? Obviously, it's the postseason, but does this affect, like, in your eyes, would this affect his MVP status with how he's at home field and barely put up? He didn't even throw a touchdown.
See,
but you have Brady, that bloody lip Brady, goes off.
See, I think the MVP voting should stop when the regular season stops because the MVP voting is for all the teams that are involved in the NFL. I think
it does. I'm just asking.
But then that questionnaire that shouldn't. I'm sure people are going to use it against him, but it's unfair because the weather in Tampa Bay is different than the weather in Green Bay.
It's just watching Aaron Rodgers watching him play is frustrating because it reminds you of Drew Brees. You have these two quarterbacks that are dominant all year, and it's just like, where does that go? You at a home field advantage, right? How many games have I watched Brees have a home field advantage, and they don't even show up? There's no high fly offense. Yeah. It's rough. It's like you're gnawing at your nails. Like where's my offense?
That's the problem. Green Bay's problem is their offense. 90% of their offense goes through Adams. So that's all you have.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. On Twitter they posted lots. I saw multiple variations of the picture where it's like a 3rd and 11 and he throws deep to Adams kind of on a go route, but he's crossing over the middle a little. And that one of their guys is wide open on I think it's called a dig, like 15 yards in right over the center of the field. And he just bombed it. And he seemed to be like, case in point, that huge Aaron Jones pass at the end of the half. Yeah. Do you guys remember the next play? It was almost the strip sack by Bosa.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And they basically had to spike the ball and try to kick the field goal at that point.
Yeah, I remember that.
And nobody blocked this. Like, if you watch the replay, it's like, I think it's 3 guys in. 3 guys in. Yeah, nobody touched him.
He comes in
and just like the guy bodied it. It was insane. It was an insane play. There was a ton of insane plays.
I just think at the end of the day, if they don't block that kick for a touchdown, Green Bay wins that game.
That punt, yeah.
That Green Bay wins that game. And I think what it came down to, I think if anything played a part in it, I think the snow played a part in it late because Jimmy G didn't do anything either.
Let me tell you, I think that game was a hard-fought team win, though. Like, the defense, the special teams, even the running back, Mitchell, like, even though Garoppolo didn't play well, you had to be fired up. Like, your team went to, like, how historical is it to go to Lambeau and beat them? Oh, by the way, if you watch
the whole the Packers,
that was amazing. That's amazing. I would have been so fired up.
But coming from a quarterback that didn't do anything, let's face it, the defense is carrying him.
I will give Garoppolo this. If you watch the first quarter, Troy Aikman was ripping the 49ers a new one because Jimmy G made 8 amazing passes and they were all dropped. And that was not on him. That was not on him. I know he hasn't been playing well, especially against Dallas, like you said.
131 yards he had against the Green Bay Packers, and it's not all because of the snow. It's just because I don't think he's a very good quarterback.
I think he's.
They had 212.
I think he's a good quarterback. I just don't
212 total offensive yards in that game.
Hey, all I could say is the 49ers are getting. Hey, by the way, we were talking the one day about how hard it is to get to the Super Bowl. This is a crazy stat I saw on Instagram. The last 30 years, Green Bay Packers have had 2 of the best quarterbacks to play the game of football, and they've only been to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
That's mind-blowing.
Well,
and in 30 years, only 2 Super Bowls.
I have an amazing stat, but it's on my phone. I had Mom take a picture of it on Sunday, so before we end this podcast, I'm going to have her give me her phone so I can read it because it was an amazing stat, and it was just the Super Bowl is very hard to get to, and we talked about this several times. Several times. There's a lot of good quarterbacks out there. I mean, you look at Green Bay, for instance. In the last 30 years, they've had Favre and they had Rodgers.
I literally just
basically
said that.
But I'm just saying. And then you look at the Cowboys, who they had. They had Romo. They had great quarterbacks there.
Yeah.
And Big Ben,
yeah, he's been a couple.
Drew Brees. Drew Brees. Look at the talent, Drew Brees.
I know.
It's just
you almost have to have. It's luck. It's really just luck. It's who you play at the right time. Like we said, the 49ers, Jimmy G's not a great quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but that defense and some of those offensive players, they came in so hot. And if you are not matching that energy, like Dallas didn't match the energy, Green Bay didn't match the energy of the defense, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
But it's as simple as that.
But I guarantee I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But I guarantee you, if the 49ers would win a Super Bowl this year, and you go out 5 or 6 years and you say, oh, man, remember when the 49ers won a Super Bowl? That was a great defense, man. I guarantee you half the people won't even know Jimmy G's name.
Well, maybe. It's kind of
I mean, but that's
nice,
that's like
nice
saying that's like saying like Eli Manning wasn't a great quarterback, but he won 2 Super Bowls.
I never said that. Eli Manning was a great quarterback.
I mean, like, I personally don't think Eli Manning was a great quarterback.
Manning was a great quarterback.
But he did win 2 Super Bowls. So it shows you, like, I truly believe in my heart that it's just, like, you got the lucky ticket. But it's like, I don't know how to explain it.
Well, Tampa Bay got the lucky ticket last year.
Yeah, like.
But the thing is about Tom Brady. Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowls, but Tom Brady didn't win all 7 of those Super Bowls.
Yeah.
A lot of those Super Bowls were won by Belichick's defenses.
I mean, like, you look at the Bills. The Bills have an amazing team, and they lost. They they just got out. Like, I mean, the Bengals. Like, if you truly look at the Bengals, like, it's crazy how they're still winning. Yeah. Like, technically, on paper, Tennessee should have won.
Oh, 9 sacks! I said that earlier. Yeah, they got 9 sacks.
All right, let's do a little fact or fiction.
Yeah,
3 interceptions. Oh yeah, fact or fiction before we get into more.
Okay, fact number 1. Well, this is fact or fiction. You guys decide if it's a fact or fiction. This was the best divisional round ever. You had 3 walk-offs. I mean, was it best ever? I don't know if it was the best football ever.
I barely remember last year, but I would say that this was one of the best rounds of playoffs I probably have ever seen in my life.
I think what made it good was the fact that 3 of them were visiting teams walking off the field after a field goal. But
home field advantage was not a thing this playoffs.
Yeah,
not a thing. That was out the window.
But was this a playoff? I mean, Brady's comeback was good, but was this a playoff series like this weekend that was like, oh my God, I'm going to remember this? There was a game that I could say yes, maybe 2. I mean, was Brady's comeback good, or was it the Rams falling apart? You know,
I'll tell you what. As a football fan, I haven't had that much fun watching football without, like, my team wasn't even in those playoffs. and I was cheering for like the Rams and Bucks game. I was cheering for both teams. Like the plays, like after the fumbles, like I'm like, oh my gosh, like nobody wants to win this game.
But let me ask you this thing about the Rams in the Tampa Bay game. I mean, they were up 27-3. Brady was 19 of 37 for 204 yards and an interception with the 56.6 passer rating through the first 3 quarters.
Yeah, the second half was a whole different game.
He had 125 yards and a touchdown in the fourth quarter alone. So was it a good game, or was it like the Rams just kind of like almost pulled a Falcons and got lazy at the end?
I think the Rams blew that, but I think it was a good game though because you saw the hard fight in both teams not wanting to give up. I would say fact that this has been one of the best weeks of football I've seen in a very long time.
Bills and Chiefs was a Super Bowl. Name me one other team right now that can beat them.
Yeah,
what other team could beat one of those teams? Like I was rooting for both of them.
Yeah, the fact that there was 20 seconds left and 3 touchdowns.
I think the Rams are. I think the Rams. I picked the Rams and the Bills, and we'll talk about the whole Bills not getting her in a minute. But I think the Rams. I think they got lazy at the end. I think the Rams are tough. The defense is tough. The defense shut them down the whole freaking first half. I think the defense that the Rams have, especially if they play in California on that turf, can shut down Mahomes. Because if you get pressure on Mahomes, we've seen at the beginning of the season, you get pressure on him, he gets sloppy. Now, at the same hand, it almost looks like Kansas City has turned it on now, and they're playing championship football like they've done in years past.
And he's kind of elusive because even yesterday they were getting pressure on him, but I think he still was able to like dump it, or they had like designed weird short route plays, or just kind of on the spot. But yeah, I agree with you. You got to get pressure on the best quarterbers.
So
Brady hates it up front when you come straight at him.
I'm saying fiction. So, I don't think it was the best ever. I mean, I think you had good kickers that came in. I mean, you have McPherson for freaking that kid from Florida, man. McPherson is just.
Did you see the Bengals tweet it out and said that's why you draft a kicker?
Yeah, I mean he nailed the 52-yarder. Robbie Gold's been good forever.
Well, how about Robbie Gold kicking field goals while the Green Bay is announcing their players like right next to them? He's hitting 52.
Well, he did that against the Cowboys while the cheerleaders were lined up where the Cowboys were supposed to come out. He was out there kicking field goals.
You went for it.
Yeah. So what? I mean, what do you guys think? You think fact or fiction?
I mean, as long as I've been alive, I would say fact. I mean, I'm not going to say it was the best, but it was one of the best.
I mean, I think the only thing that's interesting is all four of the divisional games ended with no time remaining on the clock, which is pretty cool.
I mean, these went down to the wire. I mean, that Rams and Bucks game and that Bills and Chiefs game, like, literally, like, those games were insane.
The one stat says that the fourth contest were decided by a combined total points of 15. That's an average margin of 3.8 points.
Wow. All right, what's the next one?
The next one is Chiefs over the Bills equals the best game ever. And I'll definitely say fact on this one. I really do. I mean, this is the last 5 possessions of the game. Bills TD, 17 plays, 75 yards, 7 minutes and 1 second. Chiefs TD, 5 plays, 75 yards, 52 seconds. That's what scares me. The Bills TD, 6 plays, 75 yards in 49 seconds. Chiefs field goal, 3 plays, 44 yards, 13 seconds. And then a Chiefs TD, 8 plays, 75 yards in 4 minutes and 15 seconds.
And it's scary watching Tyreek Hill.
25 points in 2 minutes.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Tyreek Hill. I watched Tyreek Hill get a simple route, and that man was gone. 40 yards down, like no one touched him, and there were 3 guys around him. Like the fact that the Chiefs can score
so quick
down the field in 13 seconds, they were able to get a field goal in 13 seconds.
Well, Chris, come on. As a coach, you even said this earlier. That can't happen.
No, it can't. And that this is the first playoff game in NFL history with 3 go-ahead touchdowns scored in the final 2 minutes.
It starts with the kickoff, too. We said the Bills score with 13 seconds left, and everyone and their mom was shouted.
How many of you guys ever heard of Gabriel Davis?
Four touchdowns. Did you see that route? I think it was the second last touchdown he scored. He put a guy on his back. The move he made, it's on video. This guy falls flat on his back. He had no idea what to do.
I mean, name one other game where 2 quarterbacks combined for freaking 844 yards and 8 touchdowns with 0 picks.
Yeah, each Mahomes had 3 touchdowns and Allen had 4 touchdowns, and they both had over 300 passing yards.
I mean, I've seen shootouts before. I mean, I've seen Denver and Dallas, like it was a 55-51 game or 55-50 with Peyton Manning and Romo, and that was like a crazy, crazy game. But what this team did in the final 2 minutes of the game, and
the heart in Josh Allen, he did not want to lose.
And the bad coaching at one side. I mean, the Bills went for it on fourth down, like majority of the first half, and then they stopped going for it on fourth down. It's like they knew they can get it, and they had confidence in it, and then they just stopped doing it. And then the whole, why do you kick off to them and let them get the ball to 25? I mean, why don't you squib kick it, let the clock run down, and give him one possession
rather than 3
instead of 3 quick shots?
That makes no sense.
And you're
kick it short to a bigger guy that may, or whatever, the squib kick.
It's like a double penetration, right? Like how do you kick it off? Also, how do you let them drive down the field in 13 seconds?
And you're the number 1 defense. Why are you not tackling? Why are you letting these guys run by you like it was like flag football?
And that's what goes into Tyreek Hill too. You gotta think these defenses have been on the field all game, right? I mean, you think about it. They were scoring in the last 2 minutes like it was nothing, right? So you are chasing a cheetah for like the past 2 minutes. It's insane.
Well, that game leads us into number 3, fact or fiction. The NFL overtime format was unfair to the Bills.
This is such a, I think, controversial call the past couple of years, and I'm going to say it. I think the NFL sucks because of this rule. And I think I think the NFL has it wrong. There's a lot of people that are saying, stop complaining, like the Bills should have played defense. The score was 42-36. There was no defense in that game. Both quarterbacks threw over 300 passing yards. This is my side of it. Take it or leave it. If the NFL would adapt to college rules where you each start at the 25 or 20-yard line and you get 4 downs to score. If you don't score it, you got to defend the other team. Josh Allen sat on the bench, and I literally sat on my bed and said, Josh Allen's not going to touch the ball.
That's crazy.
The fact that you have broadcasters tweeting out that the game was basically decided by a coin toss. Once you knew Patrick Mahomes was getting the ball after they drove down the field in 13 seconds, everyone and their mom knew that the Chiefs were going to score. And you're starting to see, after that game, you saw a lot of broadcasters actually tweeting out about it and saying that this rule finally needs to get. Drew Brees tweeted out. I shared that with you guys today. And a lot of people, I don't know why. Like, a lot of people are like, it is what it is. Like, it's part of the rules. Like, the defense should play. Listen,
it's right. It is the rules.
It is the rules. Absolutely. But there's a lot of teams in this league that don't have a great, like when you're in the playoffs, there's not going to be a lot of defense. Like you saw it with the 49ers. That was a good defensive game. But it's Mahomes. It's Mahomes and Josh Allen. Like it's just, to me, it's just so frustrating. Like, if my team doesn't even get a chance to, you're telling me as a Bills fan, like if I was a Bills fan, I didn't even get to touch the ball. Like, I didn't even get a chance to touch the ball. Like, everybody, like my whole season was relying on my defense to stop Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Tyreek Hill.
What do you think, Ace?
What if you knew ahead of time? Like, my thought was, okay, because I don't like the rule either, but what if as each teams knew ahead of time, before the game even started, okay, we flip a coin then, or whatever you do to determine it, Chiefs have home field, or Chiefs get first possession in overtime. Doesn't that change how you play though too? So maybe had you already known, you would kick a squib kick, knowing that we got the lead. We don't, but I don't know how much. That was just a thought that I had kind of in the moment now. Like, what was the question again? I think it's fiction.
My thing is look, why not make it interesting? Okay, you don't want to give each team the possession. Okay, that's fine. All right. Although it sucks because you're $1 billion industry and you let a good game like that end like that. So instead of a coin flip, why not have a kickoff? You know, hockey has the 3-on-3 and then they go to a shootout. Baseball, instead of going extra innings, why not do you take your best 2 batters and have a home run derby contest?
Or baseball made it interesting too. They put a man on second base.
But I'm just saying, why not spice it up? You instead of flipping a coin, you have a kickoff. You get 3 field goal kicks. Whoever makes the most kicks from different yardages gets the possession. So you're putting it in the hand of your team instead of in the hand of flipping a coin. I mean, I think the rule sucks. I think do like college, but instead of starting at the 25, start at the 35 or start at the 45 and limit it or something. Yeah. But I think a game on prime time like that, I think it does no justice to football at all. I mean, you just took a whole game that was amazing, and you basically just told the Bills fans, screw you.
Like, your defense has to stop this. And it would still be such an interesting game for TV to see. All right, Mahomes gets a chance here first to score. If he doesn't score, the Bills get a chance. Like, it would still be. You think about every single sport. You just said it. Baseball, extra innings. Both teams get to bat. Hockey, both teams. It's in overtime. Basketball, you get a full overtime period. Like, you can go on and on.
You need to have full possessions for both teams.
And I get it. I get it. They changed it to, but if they kick a field goal, like, you get a chance. That's trash.
That's stupid.
That's still stupid.
That's stupid.
You're telling me if I had a high-flying offense, and that is one of the main reasons I made the playoffs, that it's going to come down to my crappy defense, supposed to be a great defense, has to stop one of the best offenses in the league.
But you know what they should do? Do almost like a little bit like college football. Each team gets a possession.
Yes.
With a kickoff. You got to drive the whole length of the field. That's fine. If both teams scores, then you go to a 2-point shootout. Like, you know what I mean? Like they do in college. Like Ty saw in college, where you don't. All you do is you line up at the 3-yard line and you go for 2, and that's it. You get one shot, and that's the end of it. But I think that would be more interesting. But
you don't hear this much in any. And I know that the NFL and the nation is one of the biggest, or the biggest sports coverage, but like, you don't hear this a lot. I know MLBers are pretty harsh on. I hate. You haven't heard my hatred for Manfred yet, until the MLB season starts. But I'm not a fan of that guy, for instance. But you don't. Even with the rule change of second base, you didn't hear a lot of that. Whereas NFL, it's like so polarized. You're either with it or you're completely against it. You're like, oh, come on, defenses, like Keenan Allen said something on Twitter, defenses just need to, step up or something. Your defense fact check sucked this year, the Chargers. So come on.
Yeah.
Would you rather, like, that's not even a fair question to even ask. So
look, on this question, I'm going to say fact and fiction. I'm going to say fact that the rule does suck. And I think that this game might be the thing that puts it over the top to change it. But I'm going to say fiction because with 13 seconds left, you should never have lost that game in regulation.
Yeah. Do you know what's crazy is that, what was that, 2018 where the Chiefs lost to the Patriots in overtime where Patrick Mahomes didn't get a chance?
Yeah.
Do you know the Chiefs pushed to get that rule changed?
Yeah.
And then it didn't happen. It's funny.
The thing that sucks is now you take a guy that Allen was having an amazing freaking postseason. I mean, he had 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
So
the guy was it was just an amazing run for him. And that's the part of it that sucks because it would have been interesting to see if they had a better rule how it would have turned out with both teams getting a possession. I mean, that would have been awesome if they would have been going back and forth all night for a little bit longer. I mean, but
I think why I can't stand Patrick Mahomes so much is I cannot stand seeing videos of his brother.
No, his wife.
Shaking champagne
that's
with
his wife.
No, it's his wife.
Yeah, they're horrible.
It's mostly the brother. And I'm just like, everybody was posting that video saying, like,
and she's
somebody please.
She's spraying champagne all over all the people out in the crowd.
Who said I wanted that champagne sprayed on me?
And now what if they get a DUI?
Right.
Is she going to pay that fine? But my thing is like Mahomes' family.
No, she ain't.
And Dak Prescott's brother. God, please just get them off Twitter. They're horrible.
So what was the question again? Fact or fiction for what?
That was just
no, but like what was the
NFL overtime format was unfair to the Bills.
Yep.
I'm not gonna say like it was personally unfair to the Bills, but I think fact to this rule needs to get changed.
Yeah.
I still think the Bills should have played smart, like you said. Like, that was dumb to kick the ball off, but this stupid rule needs to get changed.
I just think that it does definitely. You need to have each team get a possession, whether it's a field goal, whether it's a touchdown.
Congratulations to the Chiefs. I'm not taking anything away from the Chiefs. Like, I'm not taking anything away from the Chiefs. Like, I'm not a Bills fan. I just personally, as a fan of football, I've seen so many games where this has happened, and it's just like, this is stupid.
All right, now number 4 is Tom Brady knows his future. Facts or fiction, and. Look, I'm just going to say, they always bring this up. The guy's 44 years old. He's going to be 45 in August before the season starts. They're not rebuilding. We already talked about this. They have 23 free agents. Last year, they signed all of their free agents. They had $13 million in cap space last year. Yep. This year, they only have $10 million. You got names like Godwin, Gronkowski, Pierre-Paul,
Dominic
Sue, Fournette. You have and Arians came out and said we're not rebuilding, we're reloading. Me personally, Tom Brady was one freaking possession away from going back to the NFC Championship game. He had his best yards per year ever. I mean, at 44 years old, the guy. I mean, this is his 17 times he's been to the divisional round. He only lost 3 times in 17 times he's been there. It's crazy. The guy had career stats this year of 5,316 yards. That's the most ever for passing in his career. He had 43 touchdowns, which ties his 2007 season. He had a great year. He's been in the MVP talks all the way up to this week.
Yep.
I don't think he's leaving. I think he has 1 year left on his contract. I think he wants to play.
Correct.
I just think this is all speculation. This is the same crap that we go through every year with him. I think he can win another Super Bowl. I really do.
Yeah, I think it's fact. He knows his future. Yeah. I also think it's going to be staying another year, and I think that's the same with Rodgers. I think if he resigns, it's probably going to be for probably a 2-year deal, maybe. But I think he's going to want the 1 year. I don't know. And
you look at this year. I mean, this year they went through a lot of freaking drama down there in Tampa Bay with Antonio Brown, all the injuries they've had on defense and offense. I mean, the offensive line wasn't his starters for like. So he got the crap beat out of him. He got sacked 3 times in that game.
What's his contract, by the way? Because
I think he's got 1 year left. I think he has 1 year left.
I'm gonna
like how much though? 20? Like because he still takes a discount.
Yeah, he does not take a lot of money.
I'm gonna say fiction, and here's why. I think he knows that he can come back to Tampa.
Yeah.
If Tom Brady would have got like when the Rams were winning 23-3 or whatever, like I think if he would have got blown out, I would say 100% Tom Brady's come back. I don't ever feel like we've seen rumors like this before about Tom Brady. A couple days before the game comes out, you have a offensive coordinator that Brady loves that is 90% chance going to become the Jaguars' next head coach. Is going in for a second interview. You just said you have 23 players that need to re-sign. Fournette, Godwin, those are 2 big names. If they don't get them back, what is Brady's offense looking like? Does Brady hang them up? Be like, I gave everything I had in that field. I'm content with having 7 Super Bowls. I'm done. Mm-hmm. Gronk's not coming back. That's my man. That's my guy. My coach isn't there anymore. I mean, do they have a
Gronk's young.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Brady can still play, but is that a Super Bowl team if those guys don't come back?
Well, they're going to be hunting for a quarterback.
If those defenses don't come back, if that offensive players don't come back, they might miss some key pieces here.
It's going to come down to salary again.
Yeah, and like you said, only $10 million in the cap.
Yeah.
That's not enough to sign those players. Godwin's going to want a big contract. He's been good.
No one knows what the salary cap's going to go up to, and with the revenue packages and with the TV deals and all that, what's going to change too. I just think I think if he had a bad year and he threw a lot of interceptions and he got hurt,
what better way to go out than having an MVP year?
He could make a lot of money still.
Yeah,
and I think the fact that he could play and make money, they still want that.
Like, believe me, like I
can
remember,
still throw the ball down the field. He's not like Ben Roethlisberger or something, or like Drew at the end.
I was gonna say I remember going through this with Drew because Tom Brady came out and said, "I'm gonna take it day by day." It's exactly what Drew Brees said. Maybe this is gonna be his last year. Maybe he's going into his last year of his contract. He might hang them up after that.
I think what he's going to do is he's going to wait to see what the team does maybe.
Yeah, because, I mean... like
who do they re-sign? Who do they bring back? I mean, they could franchise Godwin again if they wanted to.
Like, after having an MVP season with that team, I mean, I personally don't think Godwin's staying. I think he's going to go get signed big somewhere.
But there's going to be a lot of good receivers available. Juju Smith,
and it's a good receiver
Godwin,
draft.
Amari Cooper might be on the market. Michael Gallup could be on the market. If Devontae Adams if he tries to find a way out of Green Bay, he could be on the market.
I'm telling you, this is going to be a very, very interesting offseason. And the draft, I think, is going to start all of it with who gets drafted where.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see teams like Green Bay load up with receivers. I'm not Green Bay, Detroit.
Detroit's right there. Yeah. Detroit is right money. There on the breaking point of becoming good.
Odell wanted to go to Green Bay.
Odell's going to be a free agent.
Yeah, but
it's also.
But imagine him in the stretch.
That's that's also another free agent receiver. Like where's he going to go? Is he going to go home to New Orleans?
Because let's face it, the Rams don't have cap space. They're always in cap hell because they ruin their drafts by signing all these damn big names. It's
paying off right now. Those big names on defense have been coming up clutch.
Yeah, this year, but if they don't go to the Super Bowl, then all these free agents again. So anyway,
Odell Daff would like this if I brought it up. Odell. The contract he signed with the Rams was for like $750,000. He put it in a Bitcoin and lost like almost 2/3 of it already.
Oh my gosh!
All right, the next one is Aaron Rodgers just played his final game as a Packer. Fact or fiction?
I don't know. I think I want to say
question.
I think I'm going to say fact because I think I think Rodgers would like to stay in Green Bay, but I don't think he's gonna.
I don't know, man. Especially if he wins another MVP. I mean, they were a stupid play away from going to the NFC Championship game for the third year in a row or something like that. Ridiculous. And I mean, LaFleur is a great coach. I mean, even though they don't have all the offensive weapons, they still win a ton of games every year. Aaron Rodgers is still a good quarterback who played through toe injury.
The weak division. We forget about that too. The division they're in, they can get 4 to 5 wins. So
if not 6.
6 maybe. hey, those Vikes are the Lions. The Lions gave him a run this year.
Look, if he leaves, then it's not about championships anymore. If he leaves, it's about money.
What if he goes to play in Las Vegas? It's close to home.
It's not a team that if I'm Aaron Rodgers right now, but if I'm Aaron Rodgers and I'm sitting back, I'm like, where can I go that I'm going to get paid good? And
like you just said, though, Vegas has a lot of money.
But they don't have a lot of weapons.
Look at the free agents this year. If you land Aaron Rodgers, you know
what
have
receiver Waller and who else do they have?
Oh my gosh, him with Waller, he upgrades everyone.
That defense.
It's not going to happen.
They have a good defense. They have a good defense, right? You have a good tight end. You have Renfro, who is a good receiver. Now you go and get a free. For all you know, Devontae Adams follows him.
God,
could you imagine that?
If they let him walk.
Devontae's from Cali. I think he's from Fresno.
Oh my God! Imagine this. Imagine Green Bay franchise tags Adams and they trade Derek Carr to Green Bay.
Could you imagine Aaron Rodgers coming back in the evil black and silver?
Oh my gosh, that'd be a great because he's always wanted to play
black and yellow.
He's always wanted to play for, obviously San Francisco. That's where he's from, but Vegas is close.
Look, if I was him, who would I be considering? I'd be considering Seattle if Russ walks.
No.
Seattle has a ton of receivers there. Yeah, good running game.
Young defense.
That's a sneaky one I haven't heard of. That's great.
Well, he won at Green Bay with no defense. You go there with all those speedy weapons. Pittsburgh, I would stay away from.
Why? What about that defense with Najee Harris?
They don't have an offensive line. No running game.
Offensive line is terrible.
Denver, I can see him going to Denver with all those weapons. They have good defensive weapons. They have good receivers, good tight end. Not much of a running game.
Now this wouldn't happen because they have a quarterback. Can you imagine Tennessee was like, screw Tannehill, let's go get Rodgers with Derrick Henry.
Tennessee would be a good fit.
Derrick Henry.
They have 2 good receivers.
Julio Jones and A.J. Brown. Oh my goodness.
Just put a dome over Lambeau. It doesn't matter. Just put a dome over because they beat the 49ers in a dome, I think.
They have all those shareholders.
It's a shootout, whatever. No, God, could you imagine? Oh, yeah, I'd pose that to all Packers shareholder fans. Do you guys want a dome ever?
Johnny would come back. Johnny would come down with his little angel wings and be like, what the hell are you doing?
Hey, could you imagine a beautiful dome, though, like Minnesota? Like Minnesota's beautiful dome over Green Bay. You know what's cool is I love seeing Green Bay Stadium because it's literally like our neighborhood, imagine having a stadium right down the street. Like it looks like it's in a small town, and I think that's so cool.
It is.
It literally is. Yeah,
it's crazy.
But me personally, I think he stays. I mean, he had great numbers again this year with a broken toe. I just think he has a good relationship now with the GM. If they get a receiver in a draft, or they get a receiver in free agency, or they make some kind of a move to bring in another weapon. I mean, Randall Cobb wasn't the answer this year. If they get someone younger, or he would actually spend time with some of these receivers in the offseason, maybe some other quarterbacks do, like go down to Cabo and hang out or something.
I just think it's so hard to recruit.
Bring them with.
Yeah, it's so hard to recruit receivers, I feel like, to Green Bay because, number one, obviously it's freezing. Yep. Right? Who wants to go to Green Bay? If I'm a free agent, I'm going down south.
But all those people there have leather skin.
And also, you always have Aaron Rodgers retiring rumors, so it's so hard probably for these players to recruit.
I mean, look at Ace. He's from Minnesota. His head doesn't even shine. That's like leather right there.
Yeah, look at
I think it's gonna come down to money.
Pale as it.
I think he stays. I think he stays, and I don't think it's gonna be a long deal.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be a year or two, and I think it's gonna be all guaranteed.
I think we hype it up, and he ends up staying.
Yeah, but
no, you said he wasn't. Right, Ty? 2 of us said.
Ty said he's going to New Orleans.
No. I think
it's Tennessee or Seattle actually is not bad. Seattle has a not so. Well,
I think it's going to be a very interesting offseason. I could see him leave and I could see him staying.
Seattle has the money to sign Russ, so why couldn't they sign Aaron?
Well, Russ already signed.
If they, oh my God, I never thought of Tennessee for some reason, but
Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown.
Oh.
Julio
That's
Jones.
a dream for him. Just hand it off 25 times, and he's so accurate. It doesn't matter if he takes time.
And
off.
the weather was only 38 compared to like 5 below. So in a playoff game,
he's got that little mullet kind of hair going on too. Fit right in.
Chris, his toe. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe not now, but like in the off season, he has surgery.
Yeah,
and
real men cut it off.
A little on that weather.
real men cut it off.
Imagine having
that should be
to.
A Johnny quote.
I mean,
well.
I know he had Aaron Jones, but imagine like just being able to take a load off, like not having to throw as much to save your career and handing it off 20 times to Derrick Henry, who is a monster.
Yeah, that's the one thing that Green Bay's really, really never had, like a good.
Aaron Jones is good though.
Good running back.
He's like a Kamara though. He's good at receiving.
Yes,
AJ
Jones and Dillon.
They're a good combo.
But a good defensive line shut them down, though. You're kind of right about that.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Rodgers felt that he had to force some throws when really didn't. Well, whatever. I know what I'm talking about. Come on.
All right, the next one, Fact or Fiction. Joe Burrow is the toughest quarterback this postseason, and I'm saying 100% fact.
Bro, he's got so much swagger. So much swagger.
Kid was, the kid was sacked a career high 9 times in one game.
Did you hear what he said about the kicker? He said when he was on the sideline, the kicker was walking out for the game-winning kick, and the kicker turns around and goes, "Well, boys, looks like we're going to the championship game."
And they're the youngest team in football right now. I mean, the guy, he takes them to their first playoff win in 31 years, and then they win their first road playoff game ever, which is weird. I mean, I didn't know that stat.
Well, think about how crazy this is, right? You think about the past 5 years
against the number one.
You think about the past 5 years, the Bengals have been irrelevant. They've been trashed. The only thing the Bengals had going for them was when like that Pac Jones guy got in a fight with Juju and stuff. That was like the only thing, right? Last year, Joe Burrow has his rookie year, and he throws a lot, gets injured. The Bengals still kind of suck. 2 years into his career, and look at this team. Man looks like he's been playing for 5 years. Puts a cigar in his mouth and calls it a day.
I mean, I think they were 500 before he got injured. It's not like they were terrible.
Yeah, like he has been.
The drop off was.
He's just that. He's that rare quarterback that he hopped in the NFL and did not miss a step.
And they have money.
Yeah, they've been signing defensive players every offseason. They got Trey Henderson from the Saints, who like tied the league in sacks this year.
I like his swagger. I mean, he's Joe Cool. I love his swagger.
Yeah. He's from that area. I think he's from Ohio, actually.
He is.
Which is cool.
And I love the fact that he's staying true to himself. He's not like Mac Jones, who actually, if you look at Mac Jones's first interview to his last couple, it's like Bill Belichick took him home and said, "This is how you're going to answer questions from now on. You're going to be blah."
Oh my God.
So I love the fact that this is a young team. I love the fact that we're seeing teams that haven't been there in a while. Even the 49ers. I mean, I'm glad we're not seeing the same Tampa Bay, Green Bay. I'm glad we're getting a mix.
Yeah, it's a good mix. And Bengals have the right pieces, right? Joe Mixon, great running back. Joe Burrow has been playing well. I mean, threw for 348 yards. They have Jamar Chase, who is probably going to win Rookie of the Year. And they have Tyler Boyd and Higgins. Like, that wide receiver group is great.
What Super Bowl would pull you guys? Like, if Kansas City lost, would everyone be interested in a Cincinnati 49ers Super Bowl?
That'd be sick, in my opinion.
Cincinnati and the Rams. I mean,
I take the Rams. Cincy Rams.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Kansas City Rams.
I'm tired of seeing Kansas City already. That's sad because Patrick Mahomes is so young.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Cincinnati win it all.
I think Cincinnati would draw in more viewers. I think there's so many people rooting against Patrick Mahomes right now. Like, if you look on Instagram and Twitter, TikTok, like, people are dying for Patrick Mahomes to lose.
Well, because usually this time of the year, there's nothing going on in Ohio. There's no baseball.
Yeah, but it's not his fault, though. It's not Mahomes' fault. We know whose fault it is.
I don't know what it is. I just don't like Mahomes. Like, nothing against him. I think he is so good. He is so good, but I want him to lose. It's like Golden State. I just think that he got so good so quick that I'm just like, this guy needs to slow it down. Like, I don't want to.
That's why I said it's this. Those two quarterbacks are the most talented. And
it's also his brother. His brother just annoys the heck out of me. And it just
that's what I was going to say.
Ace knows that it is.
My thing is, do you guys seriously think that Cincinnati has enough defense to stop a high flying?
I mean, they've done it already. They did it in the regular season.
But that was in Cincinnati, right?
I think.
Well, but
go ahead. Ace.
No,
that was. I think it was in.
I thought that was in Kansas City.
But Kansas City, Kansas City in Kansas City, it basically in February now is gonna be frigid.
It's cold in Cincinnati.
It's cold, but
yeah.
Well, Cincinnati, they do play right on the river.
I I think it's a close game, but I think the Chiefs.
I think on paper,
win.
all day, Chiefs are winning this game, but I just don't think you can rule the Bengals out. Like, I just think Joe Burrow will throw. You saw it in the regular season; they were down big, and Joe Burrow just puts up 400 passing yards and 5 touchdowns. Like, it can happen.
I just wonder if the guy that bet on Cincinnati, the winner division, bet on them to go to the Super Bowl. Could you imagine if he banked all that?
Somebody won a big parlay last night. They picked all these teams to win. They did a thousand. I think they did either $1,000 or $5,000 bet. And I think they won $160,000 or something crazy.
Hey, I bet on Gronkowski to have less than 5.5 catches, and he got 4.
What?
Yeah,
he had 80-some yards.
Yeah, when he had 4 catches, he averaged 21 yards. I'm like, oh my god, if he gets the freaking 5 or 6 catches, I lost this one. So
that's a great.
Yeah. All right, the Titans cannot win without Ryan Tannehill.
Ooh, that's the next question.
Mm-hmm.
Fact. I'm gonna say fact. I mean, there's a couple games that you saw Tannehill shine, and he played well, but I just think. I mean, we saw it. I mean, I said on this podcast last week, you take Mark Henry, you take Derrick Henry out of that game and put it in Tannehill's hands, he's not winning the game. And he didn't. He threw 3 interceptions. Don't get me wrong, there's games where Tannehill has balled out this year, but Tannehill just does not scare me.
Yeah, sadly.
I'm going to say fact. I'm going to say fact that I could see Tennessee moving on for him.
I mean, yeah, because everyone... I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you what the betting lines were, but I think if you ask the majority of people, they would assume the Titans should win. No more, even if you avid fans, hey, number 1 seed against number, you know what I mean? Throw it up there. A lot of people would probably say number 1. So
and
I think
they handed the ball off 20 times. Derrick Henry only got 62 yards though.
Yeah, and Henry wasn't healthy. I saw a stat for the Packers too. A lot of their guys coming back from injury weren't healthy. And hey, David Bakhtiari, their left tackle, didn't even play, so it shows you his recovery, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they had 142 yards total rushing, 140 yards rushing. A.J. Brown had 142 yard receiving. They don't have enough weapons, I think. There, Julio just basically. I mean, Julio is Julio, but
Julio hasn't been Julio in 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, their defense played they did their role. They got 9 sacks. Just can you blame it all?
You can't lose that.
Can you blame it all on Ryan Tannehill? I mean, he got him the number 1 seed. How many years in a row?
Interceptions. He threw 3 interceptions.
How we don't? The receiver didn't run the wrong route.
I said this.
I don't know. One of them was in the red zone too, and that is a no.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. I don't know how the play happened, but still.
This is kind of my say. Just like I told Ace the one time that I like Kirk Cousins, but I just don't think Kirk Cousins is the quarterback to take you to the Super Bowl. I don't think Ryan Tannehill is the quarterback that's going to get you to the Super Bowl. I don't think it's going to happen.
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Joe Flacco.
Yeah, but Joe Flacco got the Super Bowl.
I know, but I'm just saying, and Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl. But my thing is, Tannehill was under a lot of pressure the whole game. They couldn't get the running game going to open up the pass. He was sacked a bunch of times as well. I mean, it wasn't 9 times, but he had to be sacked 4 or 5 times.
I believe the question was fact or fiction, not defend Tannehill.
I'm defending Tannehill. I'm looking at it all. I'm going to say
fact.
I mean, but if you look at that question, you could throw any name in there.
You absolutely could.
You could say the Cowboys cannot win with Dak Prescott as the quarterback.
But we're not talking about Dak right now. We're talking about Ryan Tannehill. Fact or fiction?
I'm saying I still think he's a good quarterback. He was good in Miami. I mean, he's not gonna be the throw you over the top. Let's light the world on fire quarterback, but he's enough to get you to the playoffs a couple years in a row. Tennessee wasn't crap before he got there.
I will say that he's a good quarterback, but he will not get you to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. There's not too many elite quarterbacks left in the league, so I think you're limited on what you put in there. And name
Josh Allen. I would say Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, probably Kyler Murray. I'd put in there.
I wouldn't say Tom Brady. He's not good under pressure.
No, but he did play well at the end there. I would probably say I'd say Stafford is an elite quarterback. Russell Wilson's still up there.
Stafford's not an elite quarterback.
There's 5.
Come on, everyone.
Stafford's not an elite quarterback.
Stafford goes from
Stafford has more interceptions this year than Tannehill does.
Listen, but Stafford is balling and took his team to the playoffs. They're going to the championship game right now.
Stafford didn't do shit in Detroit.
Exactly. It shows.
And he had weapons offensively in Detroit.
Who?
Detroit's
Who?
off.
Besides Calvin Johnson. Dude, besides Calvin Johnson, who else was there?
They had Marvin Jones. They had that Galladay.
Hey, who's that
they had a bunch
back
of they had a bunch of guys there. So offensively, they were always a good team. Defensively, they were garbage. Stafford finds a way to lose games, like he did the second half of the season.
And Stafford has always balled.
No, he's not elite quarterback. There's no way he's not elite quarterback. I can name you 3 elite quarterbacks, and Stafford's not one of them.
When he wins the Super Bowl, we'll ask this question again.
Wait, just curious.
But if he wins the Super Bowl, it doesn't make him an elite quarterback.
I mean, Stafford.
I mean, he still has like 13 picks this year.
He's talented. I think he's very
talented. He put up crazy stats this year.
So did Tom Brady.
He broke his record with a quarterback and receiver. Just curious, by the way, Ace, what running back were you talking about? I don't know.
I was joking.
Oh, yeah, there was like I was just wondering if there was a really good running back there or something.
They had a couple good running backs there. But I'm just saying, it never was the offense the problem that
I
was
think
in Detroit.
Stafford always played well with Calvin Johnson. It's just like you said, the defense never helped them.
He played great 2 years ago before he had a back injury. When he had Marvin Jones and Galladay there.
I'm just saying, like, when you said there's not many good quarterbacks.
No, elite quarterbacks.
I mean, I feel like Stafford would be close. Like, I mean, you put him on put him on a playoff team, and look what he's doing with it.
He's not elite. As a matter of fact, beginning of the season, you could say he was an MVP candidate, but he's not elite. Dak Prescott, at the beginning of the season, was an MVP candidate. He's not elite.
Would you say Stafford's better than Dak?
Ooh.
I would say Stafford's
Neither
better
one of
than
them
Dak.
run. They both don't make good decisions.
I think I would take Stafford. I think I would take Stafford over Dak.
It would be a coin flip, and I'd be happy with either one. But I wouldn't say either one of them is elite. I'd say they're at the bottom half of the top 10 in quarterbacks in the league.
I'm not saying Dak's elite.
That's a good point, Chris.
And I'm probably taking it far trying to even say that Stafford's almost elite. But I'm saying, like, which one do you think is better? That's a good topic. Which one's better? But
like I could if you had to say elite quarterbacks,
if you're gonna put elite narrow, then I would just say Rodgers and Brady at that point. That's it.
Do we agree though that we always come back to the quarterback. No.
Would you guys
agree that it's fact they can't win?
No.
Named off a whole bunch of other.
Wait. But just curious though, like I feel like Russell.
I think it's fiction.
Russell Wilson has to be close to. I mean, the accuracy he has as a quarterback. And the skill that he has had over these past couple I mean, he's like a ballerina.
But you're saying career. You're saying career. You're saying Russell Wilson as a career quarterback is an elite quarterback. I mean, I don't say that.
You take away this season because he was injured? I mean, he's at the playoffs, 90% every single year?
Russell Wilson is a very smart quarterback. There's not too many elite quarterbacks that I could say Joe Montana was elite. I could say Dan Marino, even though Dan Marino didn't win a Super Bowl, Dan Marino's elite.
Now, if you're talking
I could say Drew Brees. Drew Brees only has one Super Bowl. Drew Brees is elite.
If you're talking about Drew Brees, Joe Montana, then elite is very high up there. So then I'm trying to get an idea of what elite in your eyes is looking like, and you're talking about the greats. So obviously Russell Wilson's not in there.
In the same.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
Category as Montana.
100%.
Like even Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman has 3 Super Bowl rings. He's not elite.
Yeah, but would you put him up there?
I'd put him in the top 10. But he's not elite. I wouldn't say he's elite.
Do you know, it was crazy.
We'll have this on a separate podcast because I was too young to remember watching Aikman.
Yeah, it was crazy when they came out with that quarterback list, like top, I don't know if it was 100 or 50 quarterbacks of all time. Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees weren't even on that list. And I was shocked because Drew Brees at the time had almost every single record in the record book. And I was just like, how much sense does that make? But
like even quarterbacks like Brett Favre. Brett Favre was a great quarterback, but he wasn't elite. He was a gunslinger. You know what I mean?
That's got to be freaking close. I mean, you're not going to put Brett Favre as an elite quarterback? What do you classify as elite?
When you have almost as many interceptions as you do touchdowns, he made a lot of bad decisions. He was a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong. Elite, I mean, you're really putting yourself up there for elite.
I'm just going to say Tom Brady. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. Tom Brady.
But sure.
7 Super Bowls.
But Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowls. But are you saying Tom Brady won all of those Super Bowls?
Dude, it's just, I mean, you could argue that with everything. I mean, we're just getting down to the nitty-gritty at this point.
Do you have any more?
Yes.
Fact or fiction?
Jimmy G saved his job for 2022. Fact or fiction?
I'm gonna say fiction, and it's not because of the reason you think, because I just know you just don't really like Jimmy G. I think Jimmy G proves that he could still be a starting quarterback in this league. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. Obviously, he's not elite.
No,
but I just think that Trey Lance is definitely their guy. I think it's completely different than the Jordan Love thing. I think they spent a lot of draft picks. You saw him come in a couple games, and he played very well. I mean, he got them a win on like week 16 or 17. I think that they're going to roll with Trey Lance next year no matter what.
Me, Jimmy G, I think Jimmy G had the potential to be a great quarterback when he started his career, and he had a lot of wins. He was going in the right direction, but Jimmy G can't stay healthy. Jimmy G is not a good quarterback. He's not an elite quarterback, and he only had 131-yard passing against them, and he had a horrible pick in the end zone, in the red zone. It's the elite coaching and the defense that won that game for them. I don't know if it saves his job. I mean, if they win the Super Bowl, they might just have a carryover and let it ride for next year. But I don't think – I think the reason that the 49ers are playing the way they are right now is because of their elite defense. And elite defenses can win you Super Bowls.
I agree with you on that 100%.
Yeah, and coaching.
I mean,
would you rather
Seattle's elite defense won them Super Bowls, not Russell Wilson.
Oh, come on. Russell Wilson was so good those
Their
years.
defenses were solid back then.
Listen, don't get me wrong.
The Legion of Boom was the best defense around. You could not score more than 10 points in freaking Seattle.
Yeah, but for you to take away credit from Russell and Marshawn Lynch.
He was a good quarterback.
Obviously,
but it was the defense that won those games.
Obviously, the Legion of Boom was good, but Russell Wilson was just as good.
Jimmy G will be back, but
G
he's not elite.
Jimmy G or Ryan Tannehill?
Jimmy G or Ryan Tannehill? Ryan Tannehill all day.
I don't know.
At least he'll give you a full season.
Yeah, he's mobile. Yep, he's mobile too.
Yeah.
Whereas I think they asked him to stay in the pocket, Jimmy G.
Yeah.
All right, you got any more?
No, Ace Ace didn't give his yet.
Oh.
Jimmy G, Ace.
Oh, so is it survives another year starting? Is it like survives starting?
He saved his job
season?
for 2022, yeah, as a starter.
Yeah, saved his no. I agree.
Hey, there's going to be a lot of teams that need a quarterback.
I think he's going to be on a different team if they think that Lance is ready. So I think he's on a different team, but he doesn't keep his job, no. So fiction.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think either one of those quarterbacks are good, so.
I think he's on a different team next year.
All right, the last one, and then we'll move on. The Rams will finally get a win over the 49ers. I didn't realize the Rams are 0-6. 0-6 against the 49ers. Shanahan's won 6 straight over McVay. I mean, it's...
I'm going to go on a limb here, and I'm going to say fiction. I think the 49ers win this game again. I think you go into SoFi Stadium, and I think it's the Red Sea again, just like last time, and I think Jimmy G balls out this game. Yeah, and I think Mitchell ran all over this team. I think it happens again. I think the 49ers are the hot team, and I think they're going all the way.
They're going to ride this. They're going to ride this into the Super Bowl, the LA Rams, because guess where the Super Bowl is? SoFi Stadium.
Yeah, I agree.
You imagine this week, like as a Rams player, like no one, like guys, like we are home this week. It's like what 2 weeks technically because they do the Pro Bowl. Like
Super Bowl's not to what the 16th this year.
The Super Bowl will be in this stadium. Like you have so much to fight for. Well, the Super Bowl is played the same day as the Winter Olympics this year.
Yeah,
it's a big thing.
Oh, they start the kickoff or whatever.
Well, they're in China. They're in China this year, so their time is way different than ours. So
it's like the first time.
Let's face it, there's not gonna be no fans over there because of what's going on. And
we're about to go to war. Not us, but
that
was so random. But I heard Russia's about to invade Czechoslovakia or something like that.
No, Russia's about. You need to stop watching CNN.
That's what someone told me. Someone told me that today.
No, Russia's about to invade.
Czech.
No,
Ukraine. If anything.
Yeah, they have a bunch of troops there, but. China is also doing stupid crap too. They just buzzed Taiwan with all these fighter jets. So the world's in a real.
He's turned into politics podcast. All
anyway,
wow.
McVay is 3-7 against Shanahan. I just think the Rams are a more well-rounded team, and I think they're just gonna go in there and they're gonna blow the 49ers out of the water. I think this is gonna be done by halftime, and they're gonna go on and play a home game, just like Tampa Bay did last year in their home stadium.
If it's inclement weather, I think the 49ers have a chance. But, I mean, unfortunately...
It's a dome.
Yeah, it's dome deck. It's a dome.
Yeah, it's going to be good weather. Nothing to stop. I think the Rams
just
win
calling
as well.
for, 100% smog. That's it. That California weather, Or the smoke coming down from the fires in the mountains or something.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah. I think the Rams are too tough, and I think that the Rams will win that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I need the Rams.
It's going to be... I mean, I should ride with Ty. We both should, and then just make him flip the other way.
I just think that like we've been so high go on the teams on paper this year, and playoffs has been everything but that. I mean, home field advantage has been absolutely gone this year. Every team's lost that besides Kansas City. Yeah. Like all the away teams have been winning, all the upsets have been happening. It's just it's been crazy playoffs.
I think Debo might be the number one receiver taken next year in fantasy football.
100, like this man, 100%. He is so good. So I mean, they hand the ball off. He kind of reminds me of when Percy Harvin was good with the Minnesota Vikings when he would line up as receiver. Yeah. He would line up as receiver, running back, like he was doing it all.
Another one that had a great career and then all of a sudden vanished.
Yeah,
vanished.
I don't know about you guys, but
picks.
Yeah, I would say, do you want Ace to do his hot six? Or...
Well, we could do our picks. Let's do our picks.
I don't know why you guys are yelling at me.
Yeah.
Since the NFL ruined my Super Bowl projection from last week, thanks to the overtime stupid rules.
Fair. That's fair.
Let 'em rip.
What do we want to start with then? Let me. Okay. Sorry, I was trying to write the minutes down while we were doing all this.
Well, it's as simple as this. Yeah, it's Chiefs, Cincinnati at
Rams
Chiefs.
Super Bowl.
It's not just a lot to pick from this week.
I'm gonna say
Chiefs win it. Oh no, yeah, Chiefs win it.
Gosh, I'm gonna go on a limb because you guys are gonna pick the Chiefs. I'm gonna say Cincinnati Bengals versus the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl at SoFi Stadium.
I'm going Chiefs and Rams, but I'm saying the Rams win it all. Matthew Stafford's got his first taste of a playoff win, and now he got a second one against Tom Brady. He's going for it all. He's going to have the trifecta in his first season on a winning team. He's going to win.
Isn't it crazy how we used to sit on this podcast and
and he's still not going to be elite.
Isn't it crazy how you would sit here a couple weeks ago and we'd pick like all these games, and now it's like we're down to 2 games?
Yeah.
That's baseball time.
But it's really not as important anymore when your team's not involved.
Yeah, I know.
It's correct. I don't know how those fans are feeling, like the Bills or the Packers, or even.
If I was a Bills fan, I think I'm more heartbroken than Green Bay.
Think of all those. Yeah, that's a good question because they honestly.
I would rather not make playoffs than lose in the playoffs. I think the feeling of losing in playoffs, like I could punch a like I could. Oh my god! Like
I want the Vikings to feel that. They need to feel that because
it's not gonna happen for a while.
Well, no, I was going to get to this at the end of the show actually, but it's like perfect segue. Shame on you, Vikings fans that are freaking applauding the Packers bowing out. We just hope we could get to that level. And it doesn't matter who the heck's quarterback. You still got to play the freaking games. So shame on you.
Shame on you.
Be better. Be better.
I just decided I'm not going to overhype the Cowboys no more. The NFC East sucks.
See, but you have to. Like every year, I don't care how bad my team looks on paper. I'm going to sit here and trash talk how good my team is every single year because
I'm going back
we
to
live
what
for
I
this.
was.
We live for our teams.
And I'm speaking the truth. The Dallas Cowboys are just overhyped because they're America's team. It's a weak-ass division. And I guarantee you,
look at that sign next to you. All I need is Dallas football.
We will find a way next year to overhype us and have everyone talk about Super Bowls, and then we won't. Like they're saying Sean Payton coming to the Cowboys to replace Mike McCarthy.
Nobody is saying that but you.
No, I'm not saying it. It's all over Twitter. I don't want Sean Payton.
Great coach.
Sean Payton is the prom queen that Jerry Jones wants to bring back home, and
I want him.
I don't.
Coach, yeah.
I don't think. I mean, if he's a heck of a coach, why does he only have 1 Super Bowl?
Oh
but he's no different than Mike McCarthy.
He's better than Mike McCarthy.
How can you say that?
Look at the record.
Upgrade. I think he's an upgrade offensively.
Oh my gosh, Sean Payton's a great coach. How could you say Mike McCarthy's better than Sean Payton?
I don't know though.
So why is it? The speculation is he's leaving because he doesn't want to be in a rebuilding team.
The speculation. This is I don't know where your sources are. This is the speculation.
Your owner don't even know what's going on.
Everybody.
Your owner has no idea what he's doing.
Yo,
he's been on vacation since the last game of the season.
The season hasn't even ended yet. Why would he sit here?
It ended for you a long time ago.
Yeah, for us. Listen, the only speculation is Amazon and Fox is trying to pull him out of coaching to become a broadcaster. He's not going to Dallas. He still has a year left on his contract.
Look, I don't want him in Dallas. I really don't. And if Dallas gives up a first-round pick to get a coach...
I don't know why you wouldn't want him.
Because he's been there. Where do you think he started?
I love that we're talking about this, though.
I don't want him in Dallas. He's no different than Mike McCarthy. We already have a great offensive coordinator that sucks. So why would we want another one?
I'm just saying, for you to say Mike McCarthy
I don't think he sucks.
Yeah.
Who, Kellen Moore? Kellen Moore
no,
sucks.
I think he does. I think Payton is a huge. I would love to have Sean Payton as our head coach.
Yeah, why? He comes from the same seed as Zimmer. They both started with North Turner and them in Dallas.
Well, who's calling those offensive creative plays? I want whoever's doing that down there.
Sean Payton has a better record overall and in playoffs than Mike McCarthy.
But he only has one championship, and so does Mike McCarthy. So it's not an upgrade to me.
It is. elite quarterbacks at that.
Yeah, the only reason he looks that good is because both of them had solid quarterbacks. They had Drew Brees and he had Aaron Rodgers and Favre.
There we go.
He's got Dak Prescott now, so that's not elite. So we're in trouble.
He turned around Jameis Winston before he got
another quarterback that got a lot of money, and now we just got to sit and wait till his contract expires. Now, I don't know. It's all over Twitter. You know, they're saying about it's because the owner doesn't know where what he's doing, and everyone's speculating. Oh, Jerry Jones loves him, and it's the opportunity of a lifetime to get Sean Payton
too. Because if you listen to that interview, they asked her, and she goes, Sean's just doing Sean. We'll know when he's ready. Like it's not like she's like, I had no idea what he's doing. We don't even know if he's coming back. Like she's literally just saying like he's doing what he's doing.
Look, my thing is
contract.
I'm not saying Sean Payton's a bad coach, but the problem is if you bring in Sean Payton as a coach, that means you're going through another year of another offense. You're going to flip the whole script again. So it's going to take you at least 2 or 3 years to get to where you want to be. And by that time, Dak's contract's up, Zeke's contract's up. So it's another cycle I don't want to go through. My thing is you already have the pieces there. You already laid an egg in the second half of the season because the offense went to shit. Sign these coordinators. You know what you have on paper. You know what you can be.
If Dallas was going to get rid of Mike McCarthy, they'd be interviewing coaches already anyway because there's so many that are up for grabs.
That's not necessarily true.
I mean, you'd miss out on getting one of this.
It's not necessarily true. Mike McCarthy's under contract, and if Sean Payton becomes available...
No, I'm not talking about Sean Payton. I'm just saying, in general, like if Dallas wanted a new coach...
No, they would not do it for anybody else out there except for Sean Payton. That's what I'm saying.
What about Mike Zimmer? They're talking about him coming back.
As a defensive coordinator. I would take that. Him or Fangio from Denver.
I would take Mike Zimmer if Dennis Allen gets the Bears head coaching job.
No, they have Dan Quinn going to either Denver or the Giants now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Dan Quinn, I would be like, I'll jump all over that Giants. I mean, not the Giants job. I'll jump all over that Denver job. That's a freaking amazing team.
They don't have a quarterback, just Teddy Bridgewater.
That's a lot of quarterbacks on the market,
team.
Man.
No.
There are, yep. You know the Hawks, the Broncos. If Russell's gone, the Broncos are in it. Probably the Steelers. There's
he could take Dak.
It's going to be a free feeding frenzy. It's going to be like great whites with chum in the water.
He can take Dak with him to Denver, and we'll bring in old Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers will get us over the hump with all them weapons.
Stop it! Come on, in Dallas. Speaking of Johnny would come on. He would never allow that. He would not allow that. It's funny how season ticket holders. I asked that question about if you could put a dome over Lambeau. Think of that at a season ticket holder meeting. I would love to jokingly ask that. 12 questions you'd never ask season ticket holders. Packers season ticket holders.
All right. Anyway, NHL real quick. Ovechkin passes Lemieux for 155 multiple goal games. He's number 7th all time in the NHL. Which is amazing. That guy's just a beast. UFC, Nagano, and that Kane guy or whatever, 2 big, huge heavyweights. You thought it was going to be a freaking sparring event, and it ended up being more of a wrestling event. Nagano won. Nagano actually is not under contract right now with UFC, so he's in a great position. He's negotiating his contract. He's not getting what he wants, so... It's interesting what they're going to do with their moneymaker now. I mean, this guy has 2 belts now, and John Jones is sitting back there tweeting saying he wants a shot at the title, which would be a huge fight, Nagano versus John Jones. So we'll see what happens. But right now, he is playing it by air, and he has no contract and no chance, no. Right now, no vision of fighting or signing a contract anytime soon. I guess UFC, a lot of people are coming out and saying that these people are not paid what they deserve to be paid for about all the money they're making. So,
yep,
we'll see.
Yeah, that's fair.
NBA, watch the NBA closely because the trade deadline's coming up. We'll see what the Sixers do, and see what happens with that Ben Simmons.
When is the trade deadline?
I think it's 2 weeks away. Actually, I think it's February 13th or February something.
Yeah, February 8th,
Thursday. Yeah, so it's about 2.5 weeks away. So it'll be interesting what happens. The Lakers keep losing, which I love. But I love it.
They're a mess. I mean,
Hockey.
By the way, going back, who does Francis fight? The dude is huge. Like, I thought this guy, in watching these weigh-ins, I thought the Gone. I don't know how to
Gone. Yeah.
Cyril Gone.
Dude, I thought they were going to pound each other.
Yeah, they both look jacked, and then ultimately
it was a wrestling match.
But I don't know who beats Francis in UFC. I don't know who beats him alive right now. Who's going to step forward?
It's almost like Mike Tyson in the early days. If you can get by the first round, you got a chance. Let him get himself winded. 5-minute rounds. I mean, you're throwing freaking bombs, haymakers. So I don't know. John Jones. John Jones is a guy that uses his feet a lot, and he's good. He's a technical fighter, so that would be an interesting fight. But I think if John Jones got tagged, he's done. Nagano would
I forget
rip your head off.
Talented. Yeah, Jones is talented.
But
I forgot about that. But
he can't stay out of jail.
Yeah, correct. He can't stay out of trouble. So I don't know if they can trust him.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. See what happens. But that's all the sporting I have for tonight. Yeah, NBA trade deadline. MLB, no one knows what's going on with that. They were supposed to meet, but they're not even close to a deal. And spring training now is getting ready to start soon. And I mean, heck, I think pitchers and catchers were supposed to start in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Have a shortened season, I bet.
And now they're going to end up pushing back spring training. So, and right now there's no plans, and the pressure right now is on really nobody. I mean, they just don't care right now.
Yeah.
The problem is the fans are the ones that lose out. So
this might be permanent, to be honest. I think they're itching towards shortening.
Well, they were talking about extending the old CBA, but they didn't want to finish the season under that CBA, so there's no chance of that even happening. So I think at this point it sucks for the fans because we're the ones that spring training is probably the best time to see baseball. You get to actually get up close to the players, and they actually sign autographs and everything, and they're going to get screwed out of that. And I don't know. Maybe the fans should say screw you guys and have a holdout and make them lower their ticket prices.
or at the Wild game, the Minnesota Wild hockey team, somebody had to sign up. Why is beer $14? Yeah, same thing. Why are you paying so much for food? Everything.
It's crazy.
That is nuts. But
I don't mind the tickets, but if you make it people will go to games if everything around is cheap. Nobody wants to spend $20 on a drink or whatever each.
Yeah, water bottles like $6.
That's why I like minor league baseball. We have a minor league facility right down the street from us, about 10 minutes away. It's the Iron Pigs. They're affiliated with the Philadelphia Phillies, and it's the AAA team. So you get to see some of the big names when they come up, and it's a good night. $9, $10 ticket, and then you can go drink for $4 or $5.
Yep. St. Paul Saints.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's not, and then same thing with the hockey. We get the Flyers, the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. It's affiliated with the Flyers. It's a good night. My wife and I have been there several times. It's a good night of hockey, and it's a lot of fun. So I'll take that any day. I mean, I always said the lower levels. It's more interesting to me because you have people that are actually playing to get to the next level, so they're going to give you 100% no matter what. Where these guys, they get up there, they don't even run out ground balls. I mean, it's horrible to see that. Yeah, so it is what it is.
As a coach, that's got to just
aggravate you. But
if you guys are all good,
this is how he's gonna do in Florida too. He's gonna be like, okay, guys, I gotta get off. I gotta go to the beach now.
Yes. Sorry, guys. There's no Wi-Fi here. There's no Wi-Fi.
I can't get Wi-Fi in Boca Raton on the beach. I can't get my laptop.
My phone
can't get my laptop wet.
Nobody's going to the beach 8 o'clock at night.
Can't get my laptop wet.
We can.
Or it'll be like putting our ear to a seashell and say, "Ty, there." You hear the waves crashing in the background. Anyway,
that'd be pretty.
Very peaceful.
Yeah, it would be therapy. All right. Thank you all. Please subscribe again. Thank you to all the listeners, of course. And actually, I wanted to say this earlier. If you're an MLB fan, do try to make it out to spring training wherever your favorite team plays, either Arizona or Florida. Usually, they're great time.
Oh my God!
Personally, I've never been there, but my parents have and got me autographs before. So
I went there.
Take advantage if you can.
But you know what's amazing about Florida? Florida. I mean, you could do so much in February in Florida. You got Superbike Week. If you're interested in motorcycles, you got spring training, you got Daytona, NASCAR. I mean, oh my God, I've been down there for all of them. If you love spring training baseball, you could see so many games in short distances. Daytona's right there. Daytona is amazing. Just go watch time trials or watch qualifying, whatever. It's amazing. Plus, you have Disney World. Even though Disney World's overrated, it's expensive as hell anymore. I mean, you could easily drop $5,000 in a weekend at Disney World. But
that's another place that should lower the prices. You pay enough to get in anyways.
Yeah. They also had SeaWorld, but they don't have any more orcas. I don't think so.
That's good.
But yeah, go to Florida. Check out Florida. Don't worry about Arizona. Go to Florida. This podcast is brought to you by the state of Florida.
That was a great, God, we honestly bring it full circle. We talked about a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, championship week football next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, stay tuned with us on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, on all of it. Videos look amazing on YouTube thanks to Ace on the other side. He's doing a very wonderful job.
All the nerd heads doing their work. I just sit back and talk.
And we got some new things too. We do.
We got some things coming. Hopefully we get some more interviews coming too. But we will see you guys next time on this wonderful Monday podcast.
Peace.